Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Please be seated. My name is Marc Montéard, the Vice President and Dean of Student Affairs, and I will be serving today as the Master of Ceremonies for this year's graduation ceremony. AUP graduating students, families, friends, and distinguished guests, good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement exercises of the graduating class of 2018. Chers futurs diplômés, chers parents, chers amis et chers invités, bonjour. J'ai le plaisir de vous souhaiter la bienvenue à la cérémonie de remise des diplômes de la classe 2018. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And what a neighborhood. A lovely spring day in the City of Lights, a fancy Parisian theater, red velvet and gilding, a bouquet of colors in the faculty regalia, reflecting the AUP diversity, and your friends and family all dressed up to the nines. More importantly, a group of young people wearing their gowns, looking smart and fresh, it was about time, and whose success we have all come to celebrate today. One day we will all remember, especially if you're seated right here to attend your graduation ceremony. This is a landmark in your life and the one of your parents, one of pride and of relief. Pride for your academic achievements and the person you have become during those transformative years. We, as educators, share this pride today. Pride and relief, not because they ever doubted you would make it, but rather because there will be no more tuition payments to be made. Unless they go to graduate school and you, whatever. So that's it. After ups and downs, laughter and tears shared with your fellow students, semesters during which you discovered, you learned, you struggled, you feared, you fought, and eventually you succeeded. Woo! Oof. More seriously, this is the end of a part of your life. There's always some sadness in the ending of something. No more Paris. No more croissant and pain au chocolat tout chaud. And a nice bakery lady with a smile, sometimes. Those croissants after a long night of work or clubbing. No more picnic on the Champ de Mars, in the sunset with the Eiffel Tower in the background. No more everyday AUP. The Amex, the overcrowded library, the always functioning computer labs. No more Beit Na'avu workshops. Yeah. No more My Art Goes Bang visits to those kids in the hospitals. No more faculty senate meetings. Oh, student senate meetings, sorry. We're stuck with the faculty senate meetings, I'm afraid. No more all-nighters to finish your research papers. Remember? Oh, come on, they were so fun. And then saying goodbye to your friends. Yeah, it's sad, but it's goodbye, not farewell. But this is also the beginning of an exciting part of your life. New places to discover, graduate school, career starting a family, or not. Tuition money down the line, remember? New challenges to come. So much for you to do to make our world a better place. And we're counting on you because we didn't do such a good job. Hopefully you'll do a better job. And this is why this ceremony is called commencement. Commencement, commencement, a beginning. So let's begin and enjoy every minute of it. I now call on Provost Kreuzmann to give the welcome address to the 2018 graduating class.
I have props. Buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, welcome. Distinguished guests, trustees, faculty and staff of AUP, and family and friends of our wonderful graduates, I wish to welcome you to the AUP graduation of May 2018. I'm Hank Kruzman, and I've had the honor and privilege to serve as the interim provost of the American University of Paris this year. This is a special international and multicultural community. One of my joys has been to get to know some of the graduating seniors and master's degree students. Over the course of the year, we've shared pretzels and rosé at numerous book launches. I didn't know those went together. We've listened to talks, John Stuart Mill's Political Philosophy, talks on big data, a presentation by the Ghanaian ambassador to France about the African brain drain. We've shared tea in the graduate student lounge. I didn't know what to expect when I was invited to that event, and I enjoyed it immensely. Turkey in the American church on Thanksgiving. I believe I carved 4 turkeys that night. I've seen your artwork, listened to your poetry, read every one of your your thesis proposals, graduate student and senior thesis proposals, directed study requests, and only occasionally asked for them to be rewritten. It's been an exciting year, and for many of you, an exciting 4 years. And now, graduates, we're here to celebrate you and your remarkable achievements as you begin the next stage of your life. I'm going to frame some brief comments with 2 commonplace things. First, Legos, the multicolored blocks that children play with, and then rocks. So Legos and rocks. So first, what do I want to say about Legos? Mary Midgley, one of my favorite authors, wrote that people are not Legos. That's obvious. She said, "We're not pieces of Lego that have just been fitted together for convenience. We share our lives. We are not totally separate entities." I think Midgley has captured something insightful and profound. Lego blocks are a single color. Your lives are complex and multidimensional. Lego blocks do not change as a result of interactions. You've changed and transformed each other and this institution. We're not single-dimensional, self-enclosed units like Lego blocks that link together and then separate without changing. People, when they come together to form a community, such as AUP, interact with, affect, and transform each other. Your lives have become intertwined. So graduates, let me examine what Midgley means, and let's do this together. I want you to stand up, graduates. Please rise, and if we can turn up the house lights. So, first, please join me in honoring your family and friends who have come so far to see you graduate, who have given you financial and moral support, and perhaps through real sacrifice to make it possible for you to complete your studies at AUP. Find them out in the crowd and give them a round of applause. Now I'd like you to join me in honoring your amazing faculty with whom you've worked over the past years. They were there to support you and celebrate your achievements and here to celebrate this special day with you. Please also join me in thanking our outstanding staff who have helped you find the right resources in the library, craft your writing style, listen to you when you were stressed, and guided you to an ideal internship or job. They've been there for you and faced your joys and challenges with you. So give a round of applause for the staff. And now I want you to honor your fellow classmates. They've debated ideas with you, shared the joys of your successes, supported you when a grade didn't turn out as expected. You've worked together on projects, explored the world on study trips to Italy and India and Morocco. Thank each other now for what you've learned from each other. So you have a very special relationship to each other. Please stay standing. You have a special relationship to each other, to your faculty, staff, and your mentors at AUP. Your lives are genuinely intertwined, as Midgley suggested. Now, graduates, I want to try an experiment to examine the second point that Midgley makes, an experiment that's gradually becoming an AUP graduation ceremony tradition. So, are you ready? Okay. Please stay standing if you speak more than one language. Now, please stay standing if you speak 2 languages or more. Please stay standing if you speak more than 3 languages. Please stay standing if you speak more than 4 languages. Stand if you speak more than 5 languages. Wow, amazing. Congratulations. There are few universities that have such a culturally diverse student body such as you are. That's amazing. You're probably destined for an international career. 70% of our undergraduates and 60% of our graduate students are now working in a language that is not their first language. So you're clearly not Legos. Your lives have become intertwined, and you really are genuinely multidimensional and international and global individuals. So let me turn from Legos to rocks. When I travel, I collect rocks. This is the first rock I ever picked up. It's from China. I was traveling with a group of faculty and students to a monastery on a mountaintop in Hubei province, Wudongshan. I spent the night in a Taoist monastery and got up before sunrise to watch the sunrise from the temple at the top of the mountain. I picked up this rock while I was hiking down the mountain. April 1987. This rock's been with me for 31 years. And every time I hold it, I think back to the people I was there with and the experiences that we shared. This rock is from a trip to Ghana. I was visiting a university that AUP has a partnership with, Ashesi University in Ghana. And on that trip, I was out walking and I found this beautiful multicolored rock, a little bit of iron in it that gives it a reddish tinge, and I brought that back with me. This large rock has kind of a special meaning to me. I traveled to India a number of years ago, and actually I forgot to pick up a rock on that trip. And I was telling one of my students, I forgot to get a rock from India. He went home on a summer break and brought this rock back to me from his hometown. And this has a very special meaning because of the way that it's traveled from his hometown to me, and actually now to Paris. So I pick up rocks. This one I picked up a week ago as I was walking across the gravel on my way to Grinnell. You've walked across that crunchy gravel many, many times. Talking to a faculty member, sharing a joke with a classmate, or in quiet contemplation as you're thinking about an upcoming exam or a paper. Perhaps you were contemplating the life that you're constructing, the life that you will begin after AUP. Now, none of these rocks have any intrinsic value, but they're deeply meaningful because of what they represent, the people, the friends, and experiences. So now, as you are preparing to close this stage of your life and open up another one, I encourage you to reflect on what you will take away from your time at AUP. You've changed each other. You have been transformed by your liberal arts education at AUP. And you, through your engagement with this community, have helped transform this university. When you face challenges in the future, and surely you will, remember that at AUP you learned how to overcome obstacles and succeed. At AUP you learned stuff. You learned content. You learned things about the world, literature, society. You also honed skills in critical thinking, researching, writing, digital communication, and speaking French. But beyond content and skills, you've cultivated and enriched your own values. Respect for different points of view, tolerance, courage to support an unpopular idea, and a sense of justice and fairness. These values were cultivated in your conversations with each other, with the faculty, and with the staff. So I hope you remember how AUP has shaped your life. Hang on to a photo, a special poem, maybe an essay you wrote, or perhaps a rock that you picked up in front of Grinnell. Because AUP has helped transform you, and it's intertwined in your life, and you've transformed it. So graduates, all my congratulations and best wishes as you go forward in your life. Thank you.
I was so excited to start that I screwed up. It's always important to say when you do, sorry. So I'm going to ask our faculty marshal to please stand. Now, will Quinn Chesser, the newly elected president of the Undergraduate Student Council for 1819, please come forward and accept custody of the mace. My apologies. The American University of Paris has a tradition of honoring those students, faculty members, staff members, and distinguished individuals whose performances have been exceptional and whose contributions to the university deserve special recognition. Every year at graduation, we begin with an awards ceremony to honor special achievements in the areas of scholarship, teaching, research, and service to this institution. I now call on Ray Hansey, AUP's Chair of the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Mark. I thought perhaps you were going to call Hank back up again, give his talk again. Welcome to the families and welcome to the graduates. My daughter's an alumna of the American University of Paris, so 8 years ago she was sitting right in your seats. And not to correct the dean twice, but he talked about how you were going to be leaving Paris. She just got an advanced degree in New York a couple of days ago. I got a text as I was waiting for the taxi cab. She and her husband wanted to take a little 4-day vacation. She had just arrived in Paris for 4 days, so you don't say goodbye permanently, do you? The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Prize for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement. The Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris recognizes annually the graduating senior who exemplifies truly outstanding achievement and who, by inspiring admiration for academic excellence, has made a significant contribution to the life of the university. The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Award for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement for undergraduate students goes to Sarah Seedy. Sarah achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.9727 out of a possible 4. The highest in the class. Congratulations. Sarah, would you come up? The Board of Trustees Valedictorian Award for Outstanding Scholastic Achievement for Graduate Students goes to Emily Austin. Emily achieved a cumulative GPA of 3.988 out of a possible 4, the highest in the class. Every year, the Sin-Ming Shaw Award, endowed by a gift from an alumnus of the class of 1965, recognizes the academic excellence of our finest senior project. The awards committee would like to acknowledge the astonishing number of submissions this year, 27 in total, from virtually every department, and also acknowledge the difficulty of judging works across so many disciplines, methodologies, and issues. The variety and quality of this year's submissions are powerful testimony to the talent of our students, as well as to the dedicated mentorship provided by their faculty advisors. Honorable mention goes to Natalie Barry for her thesis on option pricing, to Shinsuke Emery for her interpretation of Aristotle's Politics and Physics, to Hannah Johnson for her sophisticated reading of Hildegard in the original Latin, to Isabel Rayo for her analysis of the figure of the subaltern in 60 years of Indian cinema, and to Martha Papapostoulou for her historical research into the responsibility of I.G. Farben in the Nazi war crimes. The committee awards the first prize to Sarah Thomas. For her cross-disciplinary investigation of the legal framework within sexual dissidence as it's understood in U.S. asylum law, straddling law and nonfiction writing in a generically innovative thesis, Sarah developed a nuanced and sophisticated use of gender theory to analyze the legal system's construction of group membership and victimhood. Would Sarah please come forward to accept her award? Now I'm going to turn to the Board of Trustees Faculty Awards. The Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris honors each year a professor whose performance in the classroom is exemplary. AUP professors evince the highest possible commitment to the art of teaching and to its central role in the liberal arts education. The Board of Trustees Distinguished Teaching Award for 2018-2019 goes to Jeffrey Green. Professor Green, the pillar of AUP's creative writing program, has shared his invaluable knowledge, experience, and passion for imaginative prose, both fiction and creative nonfiction, with our students for over a decade. As one student noted, Jeffrey Green has made a tremendous impact on not only me, but the entire creative writing community. He maintains an accessible environment to creative writing through his lighthearted anecdotes and thoughtful comments and assignments, establishing a space where one feels secure enough to explore one's creative potential. He lends books to students from his personal library and incorporates Paris through trips to museums, encouraging students to find inspiration toward developing a piece of creative writing. His dedication, mentoring, energy, and passion are an inspiration to our students and to all of us. Congratulations, Professor Green. Thank you. Thank you for upholding our educational vision and for standing as an example for all of us. The award for innovation in instructional design will be shared by two professors, Russell Williams and Waddick Doyle. Professor Williams receives the award for his transformative approach to the course Production, Translation, Creation, Publication. He took a syllabus design to new heights by entering his first class of the semester with a so-called blank syllabus. This innovative approach to teaching, along with an enthusiastic group of students, culminated in a collaboratively built website populated by student contributions. The site of Paris, mapping, experiencing, describing, enjoying culture in the French capital, is live at ofparis.org. The project is exemplary in the way it brings innovative, student-centered learning into the classroom and beyond. Professor Doyle receives the award for his development of the course Coexistence and Religion, a course that addresses a question that is absolutely central to AUP's mission of promoting reflection on how we might best live together as global citizens and deal with managing religious and cultural difference. The course combines lecture with fieldwork in which students engage with different institutional frames such as school canteens, hospitals, prisons, mosques, synagogues, churches, sports clubs, associations, to examine and document the practical realities of coexistence. The course is exemplary in the way it connects our students and the classroom to Paris, France, and the world. The award for innovation for interdisciplinary studies goes to Stephen Sawyer and Peter Hagel. AUP's Democracy Lab, which they developed together, is a remarkable example of innovative interdisciplinary thinking. In this joint venture, they bring together their disciplinary expertise in politics and history, combine them with recent trends in design thinking pedagogy, and empower students to engage with some of the most important questions that they face today. As one faculty member noted, the Democracy Lab engages with the central mission of our university, producing globally minded citizens. Thank you. Peter, what a pleasure. Congratulations. And lastly, the award for outstanding research and publication will be shared by two faculty members for their accomplished work. Rika Roy, Professor of Comparative Literature and English, and Stephen Sawyer, Professor of History. Professor Roy's recently published book, The Post-Colonial Epic, From Melville to Walcott to Gauche, provides a close reading of epics and demonstrates what comparative literature does best. It combines close textual readings with valuable cross-cultural insights and will no doubt make researchers in the field reconsider the genre in the epic in years to come. Professor Sawyer's recently published book, Demos Assembled, Democracy and the International Origins of the Modern State, 1840 to 1880, offers a dynamic thinking through of the issues he is grappling with in AUP's Center for Critical Democracy and makes important contributions to the histories of 19th century France, French republicanism, and the developments of modern political thought. Rika here? Oh, there's it. Congratulations, Rika. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now call on Dr. Celeste Schenk, President of the American University of Paris.
We are not finished with our awards ceremony, so it's my pleasure to present a few more awards today. The Lubner Family Philanthropy Award is given each year at graduation to recognize the volunteer contributions of an outstanding student leader. The annual award was given by the family of Takara Lubner, class of 2014, who founded AUP Cares in an effort to raise awareness and instill a spirit of giving back on campus. This year's award goes to Tomislava Tomova. Come up here. President of UNICEF at AUP for the past 2 years for growing membership in that club from 6 members to 50, doing a successful fundraising campaign and connecting our UNICEF club to the chapters of other campuses in France. Tomi has also worked with UNESCO, NATO, the Red Cross, and Doctors Without Borders. Last year, she created a women's empowerment campaign called Me for Her to build awareness for the need for gender equality worldwide. It's my pleasure to give this to you. Thank you, darling. I really appreciate it. It's my pleasure also to give the inaugural GPS Award. Learning at AUP goes on inside and outside the classroom. More often than not, a lot outside the classroom. We launched the Global and Professional Skills Program, which we called GPS, this year to recognize the valuable co-curricular work of our students, from participating in study trips and internships to starting clubs, organizing social events, volunteering, and tutoring. The program provides an official AUP co-curricular record to recognize these many activities, while at the same time helping our students craft original, personal narratives for future employers and graduate schools. 25% of this senior class signed up for the pilot program, and 35 students actually earned the GPS degree in its inaugural year. 5 finalists gave their speeches at a ceremony on Tuesday evening. Congratulations to all of you. It's my pleasure to present the inaugural GPS Award to a quintessential AUP Global Explorer who marches to the tune of her own drummer, Rama Nakib. By the age of 5, Rama had already lived in 3 countries. Born in Damascus, she spent her first 5 years of life in Jordan, grew up in the United States, and is now living full-time in France. She studied neuroscience for 3 years at Wesleyan University before transferring to AUP, where she assigned her own major in neuroinformatics, in order to combine her twin passions, neuroscience and technology. This year, Rama built a drone that can be flown with concentrated brainwave activity. Rama speaks 3 human and 4 computer languages and describes her own life purpose as that of improving the lives of girls and women. At AUP, Rama was not only active in student government, she also completed an internship in the office of the Deputy Chief of Staff of the French Prime Minister, using IBM's Watson AI platform to build an artificially intelligent tax revenue service that optimizes returns. Upon graduation, Rama will join a team in the Prime Minister's office that builds smart tools to streamline administrative procedures, one of the campaign promises of President Macron.
Thank you. I guess we're going to give you a different gift somewhere else. I don't see where it is. I'll give it to you later.
The 2018 Staff Award for Distinguished Service goes to Sally Overton, one of AUP's unsung heroes. Sally, if you're out there, please come up to the stage. Sally works in student accounting services, generally rounding up overdue tuition payments or helping to administrate properly the massive number of student loan dollars that AUP receives on behalf of our students from the U.S.
Come up here with me.
Being a money collector can be a stressful job, especially when it involves mediating between compliance requirements on the one hand and very worried students on the other. And yet Sally does this work every single day with nearly preternatural calm, with deep care and concern for our families, with fairness, integrity, and professionalism, but also with empathy and her trademark dry wit. She is our point person for all students on financial aid, and she works tirelessly to ensure that information is updated daily so that our students can collect the checks they need to pay for rent and food. Colleagues who work with Sally every day feel she's a pillar of our community and a shining example of the student-centered service we aim as a university to provide. Thank you, Sally. It's a pleasure to give you this.
It's a great pleasure.
What a joy. 2018 Distinguished Alumni Award. No, not yet, not yet. That's coming. What a joy to present the 2018 Distinguished Alumni Award to 4 graduates of AUP, members of the classes of the late 90s, a decade we're celebrating at reunions on campus this weekend. The Global Nomad Group was founded exactly 20 years ago this year by 4 AUP alumni, Christopher Plutte, Jonathan Giesen, Mark von Sponeck, and David Macquart. In fact, the early design of Global Nomads was conceived in a senior thesis for Professor Waddick Doyle, who just won an award a few moments ago. These classmates and graduates of AUP founded in their early 20s a global NGO that leverages technology and storytelling to enable conversation between middle and high school students across the globe. The mission of Global Nomads is to facilitate conversations that foster in young people the empathy, awareness, and agency it takes to tackle the world's most pressing problems. Essentially, for 20 years, you four have made study abroad possible for students who may never be able to travel, reaching over 1 million students on all 7 continents of the world. 20 years ago, your work was about using fledgling video conferencing tools to get people connected. You took your generators and your satellites to remote villages in Honduras and Rwanda and Iraq, to name just but a few. Today, in a world of Uber connection, you focus on giving kids the tools to connect responsibly, hold meaningful conversations, and experience cultural understanding through dialogue. Chris, Jonathan, Mark, and David, can you come out here so we can see you all? You four live daily the values of your alma mater. We honor today the way you have steadfastly held to our shared mission to transcend the bounds of narrow nationalism by fostering amongst the youth of the world lateral learning, exchange, and foremost, authentic human communication. And so it's my pleasure to give you, you're gonna have to sort these out. This one's Jonathan's, that's yours. And Chris? And Mark. Thank you so much. All of you. You're incredibly The Global Nomads Group will be holding a special gala tonight in their hometown, I will say, in Paris, with a view of the Eiffel Tower, and so we'll be gathering some of us later this evening to celebrate their 20 years. And finally, the 2018 Presidential Medal of Distinguished Achievement goes to Gisel Kordestani, class of '96, who cannot be here with us today because she gave birth just a week ago and then broke her foot. So she is in spirit with us, but she's where she needs to be. Yes, women leaders can sort of squat down in a field for 10 minutes to have their babies and then go on with the work. And wait till you hear about the work. Gisel Kordestani, you come up here. Gisel Kordestani, as a technology entrepreneur and thought leader, you have long believed that political responsibility should be the basis for all human action, and you have walked that talk. A citizen of the world, born of an American father and an English and now French mother, educated in Paris, living now in California with your Iranian-American husband and young family, you have long championed the rights of those who could not defend their own. After receiving degrees from AUP and the Harvard Business School, you worked in early-stage startups, management consulting, and business development. At Google, building new social and web platforms around the globe, you felt drawn to the Palestinian cause, creating in Gaza a tech accelerator and a coding academy. Called Gaza Sky Geeks, on which board you still sit. You later produced 2 films about Gaza, Under Siege and The Idol. You have also been a long-serving board member of Mercy Corps, a global humanitarian aid organization engaged in transitional environments that have experienced natural disasters, economic collapse, or prolonged conflict. In 2013, recognizing that dollars as much as votes win elections in the United States, you founded Crowdpac, a nonpartisan crowdfunding site for politics that empowers small dollar donors and helps thousands of candidates run for office in the US and the UK. The site evaluates political candidates via an algorithm based on how they vote, the things they say, and where they get their funding. A week after giving birth to your 3rd child last month, you became Crowdpac's CEO. In 2017, you were one of 8 founding Harvard Business School women graduates who created the Leadership Now project, which takes as its motto, principled business leadership to fix our democracy. The nonpartisan project's goal is to put women in office at the federal level, providing funding and top-level expertise to candidates running for office. Along with the exercise of political responsibility, you recognize the central role of education in a democracy. 6 years ago with Mercy Corps, you visited the Zatari refugee camp in Jordan, where 25,000 people crossed the border in a single night, fleeing the conflict in Syria, where 100,000 people still live precariously today. You met there Mohammed Jabour, a young Syrian student.
You look gorgeous.
A young Syrian student who'd been unable to finish his studies in his home country. He spoke only Arabic and yet yearned to finish his studies abroad. You brought him to us at AUP, and the rest is history. Mohammed is today a beloved member of the AUP community, a business and computer science student, a leader in AUP's BV Syria Club that partners with NGOs serving Syrian families in Paris, and a future entrepreneur. He is on his way to being fully trilingual. Mohammed is one of 5 promising young people that you have mentored and educated, and he will receive the award for you today. A woman of both principle and heart, you, Gisel Kordestani, are a distinguished leader and cherished member of our alumni community.
You want to say a word? Not really. Can I give you a hug?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And finally, for the awards, I now call on Amelia Harvey and Will Beesby, this year's presidents of the undergraduate and graduate student councils, to present the SGA awards.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amelia Harvey, and this is behind me is Will Bisbee. I'm the undergraduate president, and Will is the graduate president for this year. This graduating class has experienced dynamic shifts in the community. Many students visit for only a semester or decide that city life isn't for them, but the core of this community is those who are in it for the long haul. Whether they're students who have been here for 4 years or 1, whether they're staff who have been here for 5 years or over 20, whether they're faculty who have been here for 3 years or since the 90s, I've heard stories. The amount of time spent here at AUP is meaningless without the dedication to our community. Today, the SGA's graduate and undergraduate student councils would like to recognize staff, faculty, and students who have gone above and beyond in the community this year. All right. So first, I'll start with the staff award. The undergraduate staff award goes to someone who has helped the SGA with events, stayed after hours, and always brings coffee at the right time. I'd like to present our award for outstanding community support to Mathieu Mota. Where is he? What? Yeah, there he is. Okay. Wait, I think she wants a picture. Next, I'd like to present the Faculty Award. This goes to someone who not only works with students in the classroom, but also takes interest in and helps with our community events, from our traditional World's Fair to our brand new trivia nights. I'd like to present the award for community involvement to Rika Roy. And the final undergraduate award goes to an undergraduate student who has been involved with a little bit of everything, from SGA to starting a club that didn't even really center around her interests, to giving campus tours to prospective students. What really makes her stand out is her positive attitude that has never gone away. I'd like to present the award for Outstanding Community Contribution to our very own Francesca Coyne.
The Graduate Student Council would also like to give commendations for the past year to recognize the contributions made to graduate students by these individuals. The first person has been like a graduate guardian angel. Anytime we have an issue, we turn to her and she seems to effortlessly fix it with a smile on her face. Registration problems, don't know who to ask about something, poof, she figures it out. In fact, she's the person responsible for us sitting here today and even checked us in this morning. So instead of coming to her with a problem today, I'd like to recognize Elizabeth Gunnell for all of her help to the graduate program. She's here. She's probably helping someone right now. We'll get back to her, okay. You see Liz here? Oh, here she comes. The next person I'd like to recognize is someone who has been an intellectual mentor and role model for graduate students, teaching us to think critically and question our own opinions. He was also active at AUP events, speaking about conflict and ethics and other things. His address about the Syrian conflict during the American University of Cairo conference stands out, and he was one of the highlights of all those present. So for his inspiring teaching, and also for being a fashion icon, I must admit, I'd like to commend Professor Philip Golub. Professor Golub isn't here today. I think he's probably, working in Italy or something, but we will give him his award later. Finally, I'd like to recognize a student who has worked tirelessly to make AUP better for her fellow graduate students. With an infectious laugh and lots of hand-waving, she has been an enthusiastic force behind the scenes and without fanfare. I was lucky enough to be her vice president last semester, and she inspired me and all of the Graduate Student Council. And someone once said, if no one is following, are you really a leader? Well, I know I would follow her anywhere she was leading, and I'm so happy to recognize Rosie Brand.
I now call on Dr. Schenk for the honorary degree ceremony.
Thank you for your patience during the awards section of this graduation ceremony. Practicing gratitude is a very important life skill. Men and women of the class of 2018, Mr. Chair, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, families, friends. It is a great honor at commencement to present to our gathered community the distinguished individuals on whom we have the pleasure of bestowing honorary degrees. As you may have already noticed, or as you will shortly notice, we've been having a Me Too year on our campus, actually quite a splendid one, with a host of important conferences, a resurgence of interest in gender studies, and today a harvest of exceptional women receiving awards, giving speeches, and receiving honorary doctorates. That seems fitting somehow at a university that exceeds even the usual liberal arts ratio of more women to men. In this special context, at this moment in history, in this great city, before this distinguished audience, it is a pleasure to call to the podium our first candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. We are proud to present an honorary degree to a distinguished representative of the fields of performing arts and music, Kaija Saariaho. May I ask you to come? To please join me here. You, Kaija Saariaho, through the art of your musical compositions, have for 3 decades generously and courageously crossed borders, inspiring others to do the same. You've experimented with musical boundaries in your long career, conjoining traditional orchestral composition and computer-assisted technologies. One of the outstanding composers of our time, we honor you today for the role you have played as the composer of L'amour de loin, amongst so many other works. Your output is consistently varied and groundbreaking, whether vocal or instrumental, orchestral or for small settings, electronic or acoustic. Its beauty is dazzling and that rare thing, both adventurous and uncompromising, yet accessible and welcoming to all ears. Perhaps because of the patriarchal frame that encircles most opera, and certainly its composition, you have featured brilliant, outspoken women such as Simone Weil and Émilie du Châtelet in your operas, while making your way in a creative field that has often been condescending or even hostile to women creators. In fact, the Metropolitan Opera's staging of L'amour de loin was its first by a woman in more than a century, its second ever opera composed by a woman. That it was conducted to great acclaim by a Finnish woman colleague is yet a further tribute to its importance. You have taken material that otherwise might appear distant or esoteric to a contemporary audience and made it universal and timeless, yet timely. In L'amour de loin, you have transformed a story about fatal love into one that explores the idea of crossing shores in search of an ideal, the balancing of dreams with reality, a rumination on the idea of the other. In Only the Sound Remains, you push the boundaries of genre with a meticulous blend of live electronics and acoustic sound. In it, you seamlessly blended Japanese no theater, a traditional Finnish instrument, and an English language libretto of Ezra Pound's translations. At its opening in Paris this past year, fans stood applauding for 10 minutes to signal their respect and love for your work. For your lifelong weaving together of cultural, linguistic, and gender motifs into compelling musical masterpieces, we are honored to recognize in you a global explorer and to bestow upon you our honorary degree. Faculty member Daniel Maiden will present you with your diploma. He's coming. I'm going to invite Kaija Saariaho to address a few words to the graduates.
Dear graduating students, I thank the American University in Paris for this honor, and I'm happy to be here to share the ceremony with all of you. You are the ones to bring the world to the future. You'll make the decision with the aims to make it a better place, to change it to be more fair with your acts. And I trust that your action will be more rightful than those of the generations before you, because you have grown in a world where everything happens globally, including the injustice and terror cultivated by humans themselves. And that all is in front of our eyes every day, every minute. Growing to adulthood is a long and complicated process. One way to facilitate the independence needed to follow your own path is to study far away from home, to take some distance from your closest environment. In the best case, you can study abroad in a foreign culture. It is like leaving your family for the second time, now in a much larger scale. You all here have taken that steps. Coming from many different cultures, you have challenged yourself in order to advance in your individual paths into a life that corresponds to your hopes and dreams. And you have experienced how the norms here in Paris are more or less different from your own culture, depending where you come from. That tension between your culture and the present one helps you every day to build your own individual norms, your set of values. It should also help you to understand others better and to respect their values. I myself left Finland to continue studies first in Germany among an international class of young composers. I then continued to Paris to study computer music at IRCAM, an institution for musical research next to Pompidou Center. This big cosmopolitan city was in many aspects a complete contrast to the very uniform and safe Finland. I needed to learn new language, but also a new way of thinking, seeing, expressing myself. I found my home here now 35 years ago, but I never became French, even if I learned to love and respect the culture. Today we badly need this respect for others. We need understanding and empathy. Education is often focused on intellectual strategies, on logical reasoning and steady working methods. But every person needs also to learn to know themselves, to develop both their emotional richness and ways to express their feelings. Art opens doors to this part of the human mind. It is, unlike so many things that surround us constantly, an attempt to express and communicate with others our complex feelings and thoughts on our individual and common existence. Those thoughts and instinctive ideas which often are difficult to put into normal sentences. To enjoy all art means being able to enter in many different worlds, to understand many languages, and to learn about the possibilities of the creative human mind. How to express a feeling and thought simultaneously, how to reach directly deep into the other. That is one of the inspiring challenges that the artist meets daily. But creativity is not a privilege reserved for artists only. It can be a resource in all fields because it is closely connected to a need to communicate with others. In my case, the path to be a composer I am today has been long already. I had my passion for music, but couldn't imagine myself bringing anything valuable in the field of the art form I adored and wanted to dedicate my life to. After some difficult years, when I reached about your age, my inner need to break into a life of a composer was so urgent, and my need to let the music in my mind to grow was so strong that I was able to break away from the expectations of my parents, as well as from my own insecurity, to try to advance in my own path, even if I knew it would be difficult and my aims far and hard to reach. Now a big part of that trail is already behind me, and I'm often asked, how did I get where I am? How did I find the strength and courage for going on, for advancing? More than by ideas and thoughts, I have been guided by the same feeling of necessity that put me on this track in the first place. What might seem courage from outside is more what we call the gut feeling, and I have learned to trust it. And if you have found your own path by re-evaluating the existing norms and values around you, your gut feeling guides you to choices that don't always correspond with the generally accepted norms in a given culture. In art, all those kind of choices can result in something fresh, different, personal. In life, it means learning to live your life your way, but without forgetting others. Thank you.
Stay with me at the podium for 1 second. I forgot something. Please stay.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and upon the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Kaija Saariaho, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. As you have accepted this degree and hood, we honor you as a lifelong member of the American University of Paris community. Thank you so much. May I invite Claudia Rankine to the podium. Mr. Chair, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, friends, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our second candidate for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. I am proud to present an honorary degree to a distinguished representative of the field of literature, Claudia Rankine. You, Claudia Rankine, are an award-winning poet, celebrated playwright, recipient of a MacArthur Genius Grant for your contribution to current conversations about racial violence, a chancellor of the Academy of American Poets, and a professor of English and African American Studies at Yale. Peers and critics have described you as one of the most distinguished living poets in the English-speaking world, a poet as conceptual artist in full mastery of your craft, and without question one of the most powerful and humanizing writers we have today. You are as well, and perhaps above all, an activist whose varied and celebrated works have inspired faculty and students at our particular university. Your work has traveled far beyond the classrooms at Pomona, at Barnard, at Yale, where you have taught, awakening and challenging readers across the globe. As a witness of our times, you have created great beauty from what is undeniably ugly and real in the world: racism, bigotry, and misogyny. And you have pushed us to confront these realities, to discuss them, to reflect more deeply about how we live our lives alongside others, both in the classroom and outside of it. You write about being American and about being Black in America, but it was on a trip to Paris, sitting in the cafes of this city, that you started to jot down notes on paper napkins, notes that would become Don't Let Me Be Lonely, a text much read and loved by students at AUP, partly a response to the killing of an American man by white supremacists, partly your personal process of writing to America while away from it, partly an expression of profound sadness and loneliness. It is also a ringing demand for recognition and change. More recently, your prose poem, Citizen, an American lyric, like your founding of the Racial Imaginary Institute, is an effort to tell the enduring truth of race, how it operates with ruthless force in our lives, limiting our movements and our imaginations. You have brought beautiful and precise language to bear on everyday acts of racism, the daily aggressions that people of color routinely experience, and yet that seem to elude collective outrage. Your work, too, crosses boundaries and genres. You have been a poet archivist, an anthropologist, and a curator, seamlessly binding together prose poems, lyric, essay, images, legal transcripts, and documents to lay bare for your readers the reality of the world. a reality that is often politically, economically, and socially violent. Your writing has become a focus for moments of complex recognition for AUP students who hail from every corner of the globe. One such student is Khadija Sanusi from Nigeria, who is graduating today. In her words, quote, "There was something about Rankine's journey to find herself that helped me discover myself too. Your writing notes our student, has been a path for me to self-realization, unearthing, and healing in the most extraordinary circumstances, pain, sadness, and loneliness. For Khadija, your bravery in sharing raw anecdotes so void of cliche has helped her to feel more connected and present as a student, as a woman of color, as a Muslim, and as a foreigner living in Paris. Your writing, in fact, has provided solace and a sense of belonging to young and blossoming minds half a world away. For making racism evident, for reminding us of the need to fight continuously for social justice, for your moral vision, and for your exquisite and powerful writing. It is my honor to bestow upon you today this honorary degree from the American University of Paris. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and upon the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Claudia Rankine, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Good morning. This is the day, right? This is the day. Thank you so much for honoring me with this degree and for inviting me to take part in this special day. It's a day you'll remember forever. It's a privilege to be standing up here with my fellow honoree at the forefront of her field and to witness the class of 2018 make this leap into the exciting unknown. This world, in all its beauty and technological advances and incredible opportunities, existing alongside confounding and disturbing realities, needs invested young people like you, now more than ever. Did I say congratulations to each and every one of you? Whether you end up living here in Europe or anywhere else you feel pulled towards by family, career, adventure, you'll find yourself existing and working in a time when the word immigrant has unfortunately become synonymous with less than human, a time when anti-Black racism is increasing steadily. And since change rarely comes from the top down, we also find ourselves in an incredible moment powered by grassroots movements globally. Things like Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, and Me for Her, which started right here. This year, I have been working with a group of artists, writers, curators, scholars, educators, and knowledge producers under the name the Racial Imaginary Institute to interrogate, develop, and explore questions around race and art. Standing here with you today, I commit to continuing my own investigation of the ways in which structures of power obscure and curtail our fundamental rights to live, love, and pursue our dreams. James Baldwin once said, and I quote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." One thing you learn during your time here is how to translate what you see, what you read in the world to others, so that your observations, when joined together, can form a conversation. Even though the practices of examining closely, inquiring, asking questions, thinking critically, or seeing a situation clearly can be labeled as overly critical, negative, or pessimistic, we know we're in a moment where we need to take notice and clearly communicate what we are seeing, to face it at the very least. Seeing all of you here today reminds me that change will come, because you will see what is pessimistic and be optimistic. Thank you all. Thanks to the faculty who nurture you, importantly, in terms of dialogues, in service of bringing our imaginations under the umbrella of equality and community. Thank you for your support, hospitality, generosity to each other, and for welcoming me into this community. Did I say congratulations?
Mr. Chair, distinguished guests, faculty, students, parents, and friends, it gives me great pleasure to present the third and final degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa to a distinguished representative of the field of law. Unfortunately, Rachael Denhollander cannot be with us today. She is 3 weeks away from giving birth. As I said, women leaders have lots of things to do, and they happen to all constellate around commencement. She is also in Michigan right now, arguing a civil case that will make sense to you when you listen to my laudation. You, Rachael Denhollander, were the first woman to go public with accusations of sexual assault against former USA Gymnastics and Michigan State University team doctor Larry Nassar, a man accused of violating over 265 girls and women, some as young as 6, for 2 decades between 1997 and 2014, including virtually all members of the U.S. Olympic gymnastics team. For 6 months, you, Rachael Denhollander, stood up to character assassination by his lawyers, victim blaming online and off, and the isolation of being the only voice in the wilderness to accuse him. You lost your church and your closest friends. When his case went to criminal court, you were the last of 169 survivors and family members to give your victim impact statement after a week-long sentencing hearing. Judge Aquilina, who promised all of the victims who wished to give testimony their time in court, called you the 5-star general who started the tidal wave, who made all this happen. Nassar was sentenced to 40 to 175 years in prison in January, and Michigan State University, it was disclosed just this week, will have to pay $500 million to Nassar's young victims, now survivors. A lawyer who defends sexual assault victims, you eloquently asked for the maximum sentence under the plea agreement because, quote, the sentence rendered here today will send a message across this country, a message to every victim and a message to every perpetrator. To those of us watching your testimony that day, Rachael Denhollander, your words were unforgettable. How much is a little girl worth? How much is a young woman worth? How much priority should be placed on communicating that the fullest weight of the law will be used to protect another innocent child from the soul-shattering devastation that sexual assault brings? Later on in the testimony, you spoke of watching your own daughters dancing blissfully to the Nutcracker, and you remembered the long road it has been to let yourself love and be loved. But the most devastating part of your eloquent testimony pointed to our broken system, to the complicity with which everyone around him protected Nasser rather than his small victims, refusing to report, covering up repeated complaints, and silencing anyone with the courage to speak up. Your own complaint dated back to 2004, and yet it took until 2016 and the surge of courage you found then within you and this remarkable searing Me Too year to bring justice forth. Rachael Denhollander, we recognize and honor your suffering, your willingness to offer up your personal life and privacy in the pursuit of justice, and your decision to become a lawyer whose life purpose is to champion those who cannot speak their pain by advocating under the law for the value of a little girl. And because she's not here today, I'm just going to say, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris and the recommendation of the faculty voting in assembly, I confer upon you, Rachael Denhollander, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
This is now the moment of awarding bachelor's and master's degrees to the class of 2018. Will the January and May 2018 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please stand? President Schenck, Provost Kurzman, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the January and May 2018 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science please stand? President Schenck, Provost Kurzman, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Will the August 2018 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science please stand? President Schenck, I am pleased to present the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science, who will be receiving their degrees this August upon completion of all their degree requirements. Please be seated. We now turn to the Masters of Arts candidates. Will the January and May 2018 candidates for the degree of Master of Arts please stand? President Schenck, Provost Kurzman, Professor Perry, Professor Payne, Professor Earhart, Chairman Henze, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Arts. They have successfully completed all requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the January and May 2018 candidates for the degree of Master of Science please stand? President Schenk, Provost Kreuzmann, Professor Hehart, Chairman Henze, both of those two candidates have successfully completed So, I present the candidates for the degree of Master of Science. They have successfully completed all the requirements for the degree and have been approved by the faculty.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the American University of Paris, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I confer upon you three the degree of Master of Science with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the August 2018 candidates for the degrees of Master of Art and Master of Science please stand? President Schenk, I am pleased to present the candidates for the Master of Arts and Master of Science who will be receiving their degrees this August upon completion of all their degree requirements. Please be seated.
Is Mary going to go next? Yeah. I can sit down.
Okay, yeah. It is a tradition at the American University of Paris to initiate graduates into the worldwide community of AUP alumni. I now call on Mary McLean Evans, Vice President for Presidential Initiatives.
Good morning. I understand that I am all that is standing between you and a diploma, so I will be brief. On behalf of the university and the Office of Outreach and Advancement and nearly 20,000 former students of AUP, it's my pleasure to congratulate you all and to welcome each of you to the alumni ranks of the American University of Paris. This is a day to mark your accomplishments, and I hope you enjoy every minute of this ceremony and all that follows today. Congratulations. You are the university's global explorers, and you've come to us from all over the world, and you'll go back to the four corners of the earth, maybe even farther. The future is certainly uncertain. That's all you can know, is that you're facing a life of dizzying change, but you're ready. Your AUP education has prepared you for everything, and know that as you go forward. And as you venture far, don't forget about us. Stay in touch with your classmates and friends through alumni activities and through events both online and around the world. Stay in touch with the university, please, by letting us know where you are and what you are doing. We are eager to follow your progress and bask in the reflective glory of your accomplishments. When you receive your diplomas today, that little piece of paper that you're waiting for so eagerly, you will be greeted by two of my colleagues and your fellow alumni, Amber Cooper and Christina Keenan, who will present our gift to you. I too have a prop, Hank, an AUP luggage tag, which we hope you will take with you on the road. We think this is a really practical gift for any AUP alum because we know you are going to continue to lives of global exploration, and we want this to remind you of Paris and start conversations in airports, train stations, and anywhere you go about AUP. Help us spread the word. And though this particular AUP chapter now ends for you, please remember that when you came to Paris, whether it was a year ago, 4 years ago, or longer, you began what is a lifetime relationship with this university. And like any family, we send you off on your next journey, but we ask you to call or write and come home often. Your university will always be ready to welcome you home to Paris, and we look forward to many happy returns. Congratulations and all the best to you. And now,
I'm sure you're thrilled about this luggage tag and about the diploma, and I'm thrilled about having to read all your names. So just in case, which probably won't happen, but just in case I would butcher your name, please don't take it personally. Just blame my gray hair and my old age, okay? Thank you. Although I know this is an exciting time, I would ask the audience to please refrain as much as possible from applauding again until all degrees have been awarded. Otherwise, the champagne will definitely be flat by the time we're done. So I will read the names of all the candidates to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Master of Arts, Master of Science. As you proceed onto the stage to receive your diploma, if you stand one row at a time, people seated behind will be able to see the stage. Okay? Let's do it. Ibrahim Raed Abu Shakra. Stephanie Alex. Yeah. Arev Alexanian. Over there. Catherine Allen, cum laude. Yasmin Almutlak. Erin Graham Amodeo. Maurice Nikolaus Artman. Anastasia Baiko. Lucille Beffort. Alain Beshko, cum laude, Departmental Honors in History. Ali Benshikroun. Iman Aileen Bengana. Brandon Samuel Bergson. Gabriela Vallée-Baudin. Arthur Boiron. Syed Jared Hussein Bokhari. Go ahead. Christine Jonte Bouchard. Bria Melissa Bradley. Maddie Brooks, magna cum laude. Elisa Alexander Brown. Edward Fisher Buck. Shana Monique Callender. Cody Richard Campbell. Emma Kasani. John Cataldo. Paulina Shaikina. Monica Julia Chartouni. Apollinaria Shikunova. Amelia Rose Christian, magna cum laude, Departmental Honors in Global Communications. Isabella May Christian, cum laude, Departmental Honors in Global Communications. Bernice D. Kotzer. Annabelle Cohen Boulakia. Melissa June Koleluori. Kat Natalie Conlin, Magna cum laude, departmental honors in comparative literature. Nicolette Sierra Contursi. Danica Cortez, cum laude. Francesca Marie Coyne, magna cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Alexandra Coleman Creel. Carolina Anna Chaplika. Lara Daher. Ricky Suzanne Davis. Valentine Deleuze. Anna Maria Gabriela Digadunuti. Of course. Summa cum laude, departmental honors in film studies. Zoe Alexandra Dennison, cum laude. Montgomery McCune Denton. Caroline De Villers. Eleanor Dickinson. Hudo Jama Mahamoud. Xenia Dutoit. Anna Patricia Andros Villarasa. Imani Mohamed Fadiga. Benjamin Gillison.
I'll bring you one, okay? I'm so sorry.
Samantha L. Gilliams. Charnis Johari Goldsboro. Colby Suzanne Goodrich, magna cum laude. Jack Benjamin Green, magna cum laude. Miguel E. Grillion. Sarah Guillaumin. Desmond G. Haig, Jr. Melissa Monique Alabé, cum laude. Henry Nam Hardwick. John Harkins. Amelia Margaret Harvey, magna cum laude, departmental honors in creative writing. Mara Osaf. Sophia Katarina Holst, magna cum laude. Bryn Huri. Julie Yu. Magna cum laude, departmental honors in international economics. Sarah Frances Hughes, magna cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Annabelle Hutter, departmental honors in art history. Kristen Lauren Jefferson. Chloe Gillett Johnson, magna cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Anna Victoria Johnson, magna cum laude, departmental honors in comparative literature. Destiny Tamia Jones. Chelsea Ruvarash Robin Kalumbu. Sibel Cavadarli, magna cum laude, departmental honors in film studies. Sarah Louise Keogh. Sofia Katsenkova. Anika Sisek Kirimli, departmental honors in international business administration. Ellen Kitchens, cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Christopher Bennett Knapp. Nicholas Alexander Cole, cum laude, departmental honors in film studies. Katerina Kostyuchenko, magna cum laude, departmental honors in international business administration. You're welcome. Lisbeth Lara. Bradley Jordan Leach. No diploma. Dinabu Anne-Marie Kouyaté. Andrea Rocio Limon. Heather Lee Linbo, departmental honors in comparative literature. Mario Andres Lopez. Anna Elizabeth Judith Loss. Michelle Murray Lynch, magna cum laude, departmental honors in literary studies and creative studies. John Charles Towns Mahaffey. Sarah Magoub. Nicole Marina. Victoria Cantino Maldonado. Enrica Era Louise Malmros. Christina Lily Rose Maneri. Alexandra Leticia Martel. Tommaso Maria Mangano, magna cum laude. Medea Margania. Astrid Marie Martelet, magna cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Giacomo Leon Massimo Brancaccio. Elizabeth Ann Bacco McGee, cum laude. Youssef Ashraf Alim Khalil Mina. Alexandra Moore. Laura Stefania Moreano Pinson. Melissa Ann Morrow, magna cum laude. Pierre Félix Mukoko Omjo. Katia Elina Neymala, magna cum laude. Nicolas Andre Nemtala, cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Lucky Kenya Nebastian Shia. Rihanna Ngom. Hind Astrid Gunimba. Elizabeth Chuan Mei Nguyen Son. Ali Bo Nielsen. Nafsika Nicodimou. Dayuru Athenais Grace Okemba. Erin Marie O'Loughlin. Martha Nikki Papapostolou, magna cum laude, departmental honors in history and in international business administration. Brittany Elise Paquet, magna cum laude, departmental honors in history. Elena Dakota Parish. Jasmine Marion and Ming Paul, summa cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics and in gender, sexuality, and society. Paolo Pellegrino, summa cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Charles-Antoine Julien Maurice Plenet de Batz de Cugnac. Asha Pourhassan. Victoria Prevost. Alan Pupkin. Lily Radziemski, cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Ranaivo Rajao Narisoa Riansao. Isabella Rose Sakakini Rao, magna cum laude, departmental honors in literary and creative studies. Patricia Reus, summa cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Caroline Sonia Richstein, cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Nina Michelle Rines, cum laude. Maria Alejandra Rodriguez. Emily Grace Adams Ross, cum laude. Jumana Moshen El Sayed Sabar. Emmeline Saito, summa cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Karenina Sasha Sanchez. Khadija Lamido Sanusi, departmental honors in creative writing. Jacques-Louis Sarfati. Melissa Victoria Sclafani. Teresa Segovia de Fuentes. Joséphine Désirée Elisabeth Selberg. Elijah A. Severe, cum laude, departmental honors in creative writing. Alec Julian Schumann. Sarah Sidi, summa cum laude, departmental honors in philosophy, politics, and economics. Marina Simio. One Feng Siu. Barakat Stefanos. Ali Margaret Rose Stevenson, cum laude. Casey Summer Spurkle. Alejandra Carlota Tenaasa. Caroline Alexis T., magna cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Saji Felix T.M., cum laude, departmental honors in international comparative politics. Pierre Thomas. Sarah Grace Thomas, cum laude, departmental honors in gender, sexuality, and society. Tomislava Mogdanova Tomova, magna cum laude, departmental honors in global communications. Lauren Victoria Tortolero. Shereyar Ulmulk. Camila Villegas Caballero. Lillian Anna Victoria Wagner. Cynthia Wong. Erica Lee Williams. Jeremy Edward Williams. Bianca Karen Washer. Lucas Alexandre Yamin. Johnson Scott Yoder. Sofia Zalkaliani. Sami Nasser Ali Ziad.
They should tell them about this one downstairs. They should.
Arafat Adekunle. Rama Al-Nakib, magna cum laude, departmental honors in computer science, mathematics, and environmental science. Gloria Atanga Nisa. Khalil Barkitala. Luisa Fernanda Baron Romo. Natalie Christine Berry, magna cum laude, departmental honors in international business administration. Nebi Zabrailova, cum laude, departmental honors in international business administration. Wei Tsetoni Hung, magna cum laude, departmental honors in computer science, mathematics, and environmental science. Sabir Zan Madi, cum laude, departmental honors in international business administration. Chad Antoine Mogazel. Ingeborg Ornarheim Moger. Dalia Saban. Yair Okayasek Wade, magna cum laude, departmental honors in international business administration. Samuel Scott Wheat. Master of Arts in Global Communications. Perrin Aronson. Maude Irene Ballinger. Imani Gineva Barbarin. Yeah, that's her. Leanna Christine Bass. Ann Hunter Benson. Conor Christian Longin Dat. Lillian Maria Giller. Lauren Janelle Green. Inas Ahaki. Candice Renee Hayes. Jared Andrew Felona Hernandez. Max Julian Johnson. Karen Leong. Maria Veronica Linares Farias. Talia Renee Literas. Lindsay Joy Obsert. Chelsea Emma Sanford. Corina Sodalon. Joanne Marie Steger. Awa Leila Tijani. Elizabeth Warner. Master of Arts in Global Communications Fashion Track. Eileen Claudia Agbarali. Estefania Ramon. Master of Arts in Global Communication Visual and Material Culture Track. Christina Glass. Master of Arts in Diplomacy and International Law. Merci. Charlotte Anna Christina Blomquist. Jessica Lynn Brainhouse. Emily Robin Birch. Anna Leslie Chapman. Marcia Kathleen Holt. John M. O'Rear. Ashley Michelle Perry. Noé Pierre-Élie Saint-Déricha. Craig Andrew Simon. Paola Younes. Master of Arts in International Affairs. Emily Porter Austin. Will Owens Bisbee. Laura Rose Brand. Aisha de Morcela. Sevi Ludon. Alexis Marina Mahoney. Kathleen Louise McGar. Jennifer Zola Silva Monimambo. Kathleen Simone Morris. Amy Angela Olu. Master of Science in International Management, NGO and Mission and Mission-Based track. Alton J. Bond. Master of Science in International Management Sustainability Systems track. Noah Sylvie Biron. Adam Michael Knopp. No more? Take a seat. Est-ce qu'on pourrait avoir un petit peu de lumière dans la salle, s'il vous plaît? Un petit peu plus. Merci. So, graduates, this is now a very difficult exercise. Hoping that now with a diploma in hand, you'll be able to figure out the left from the right. Okay? So, listen to me carefully. Bachelor's degree. Okay? So you got to put your hat on, first of all. And then you have to put your tassel on the right. Okay? Everybody puts the tassel on. In the meantime, the master's student can prepare the tassel on the left. Okay? Now, bachelors, you can now officially shift your tassel from the right to the left. Masters, you can now shift your tassel from the left to the right. Now we're going to need a lot more light. Plus de lumière dans la salle, s'il vous plaît, le plus possible. And ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the pictures. Graduates, please stand and get ready to throw your hats. 1, 2, 3, go! Okay, please sit down. Now, if you have managed to retrieve your hat, you can keep your hat on. But in the meantime, the following senior speaker was elected by her peers of the senior class. She also is a recent graduate in global communication with a minor in comparative political communication. I now call on Tomislava Bogdanova-Tomova.
Dear distinguished guests, faculty, students, and graduating class of 2018 at the American University of Paris. We are gathered here today to mark the end of an era and celebrate a new beginning, to look back on the past 3 or 4 years and rejoice our accomplishments, to laugh, to cry a little bit, and to remember. As an AUP student, maybe already an alum, I'm celebrating our graduation. But as a Bulgarian, today on the 24th of May, I am also honoring the day of the Bulgarian education, culture, and Cyrillic alphabet. Created in the 9th century by Saint Kirill and Methodi, nowadays the Cyrillic script is used by 200 million people around the world in more than 10 different countries. I did some research and I found that I am the 100th Bulgarian to graduate from AUP today. So on behalf of all of us, across borders, I think it's fair to say that today is the day to commend language, enlightenment, and education. We, the graduating class of 2018, are so fortunate to have received an education in one of the most unique institutions in the entire planet. A place so diverse that when you're walking to your classroom, you hear 15 different languages on the way. A place so generous that gives its students free coffee after a 42-hour studying session at the library. Right, Mario, Henry, Ryatsu, we were always the first on the line. AUP organizes both parties for us and gives us the opportunity to go on study trips in countries like Iceland, Morocco, and India, where we can learn across borders and let the world be our classroom. At AUP, we study art at the Louvre, have the Eiffel Tower as our campus, and Starbucks as our 9 a.m. savior after a long time of studying, of course. Only at AUP we can go to fashion shows where we meet established designers, then go to UNESCO to interview a Syrian refugee for the BBC. Then study for a business exam, and we do that all within a week. Yes, it's possible, we've done it. AUP encourages us to unleash our creativity and imagination and inspires a computer science major like Arafat to become a designer and organize fashion shows during Paris Fashion Week. I think I speak for everyone when I say AUP has opened doors for us that we didn't even know they existed. Doors that lead to exciting, mysterious, and extraordinary places. Standing here today, I'm filled with joy and immense gratitude for the people that have opened the AUP door for me. I want to thank the Deputy Director of Admissions and Financial Aid, Randy Vener, without whose support I wouldn't be in this theater today. 5 years ago, in my junior year of high school at ACS, I visited AUP for the first time. It was a far distant dream to study here one day. But he looked at me and said, "Before you even notice, we'll be at your graduation." And here we are today. I want to thank all parents in the room for being the heroes that they are, for raising the warriors that we are, for giving us the means to pursue our dreams and fight for our becoming. Allow me to recall the last few lines of one of Kristen O'Keeffe Aptowit's poems. It goes like this: "A saying to the phone, Mom, it's hard sometimes to know if you're making any difference at all." And Mom says, "Baby, don't you realize how lucky you are? They used to burn women like you, bust down any door you have to, and bring in everyone you can right after. You've got a voice, right? Well then, use it." At AUP, we use our voices. We use them for good. I'm constantly inspired by the growing loud voices of the purpose-driven women surrounding us at AUP. These women are strong women. They're made of fire. They're not afraid to get burned because the fire inside them burns brighter than the fire around them. They bust down doors and fight with their pulsing bodies because they know they are a breathtaking canvas of the battles they've won. Women like Christina and Nebi, Shanae and Francesca, Amelia and Izzy, Kobe, Yasmin, Lara, you inspire me because you lift others up. Teachers like Noemi Oxley, Madeleine Ziegler, Hannah Wesley, Lisa Lincoln, you motivate us to make a difference, whether it's through using journalism as a tool to raise awareness about causes that are close to our hearts, or through looking at fashion as an art form that helps us to escape the dust of everyday life. Numerous times I have found myself in an AUP classroom surrounded by women and men who have selflessly dedicated their voice, their time, and their heart into making the world a safer and more inclusive place. Being the president of UNICEF at AUP, I saw what a strong collective action can make by working with the SGA and many other service clubs. It is obvious we cannot help everyone, but everyone can help someone. And I saw what we can achieve when we work together and unite on a cause. We at AUP managed to fundraise the most funds for UNICEF out of all other universities in France, which shows the dedication and generosity of the AUP community. Being human is given. Keeping our humanity is our choice. And AUP students have chosen to radiate light, give a helping hand, and serve others. There is an old fable that my father used to tell me when I was growing up. A little girl came upon a construction site where 3 people were working. She asked the first, "What are you doing?" He said, "Can't you see? I'm laying bricks." She asked the second, "What are you doing?" He said, "Can't you see? I'm building a wall." As she approached the third one, She heard him humming a tune as he worked. She asked him, "Sir, what are you doing?" And he smiled, he looked up at the sky and said, "I'm building a temple." I see our time at AUP reflected in the work of each one of those men on the construction site. During our first year, we were laying bricks. The terrain was new. We were using Google Maps to navigate from Combs to Granell, trying to remember every street name, every corner. We were getting lost on our way from San Dominique to PL, coming 20 minutes late, blaming it on the rain, not the venti cappuccino with the wrong spelled name in our hand. Upon entering the classroom, a quiz on the reading welcomes us. Thank you, Mr. Harson. However, the test doesn't scare us because of last night studying at the Amex and studying tomorrow at Jiangao. You know, guys, it's an infamous night after all. Before we even realize, the first year is nearly finished. Some students have found the love of their life. Others are still trying to find the library. The latter group keeps on procrastinating because assignments are due April. Then they realize it's actually April. To cite Drake, all their handouts are getting out of hand. They say, "I cannot possibly finish this homework in this time frame." Somehow they manage to do it, saying, "I can't believe I did it in this time frame," and repeating this process until graduation. However, if someone would have asked us, the graduating class of 2018, what are we doing during our second year of AUP, we would have said, we're building a wall. The bricks are already set up. We set them up last year. We don't have to look at Google Maps anymore to go from Combs to Granell, from CD to PL. But although we learned the road so well, we are late again because we bumped into one of our friends on the way. He went out last night, so he just has to spill the tea. Then we enter the library. We write the title of our thesis and go on to reward ourselves with a 5-hour break on the Shams. We come back. We check our bank accounts. We realize that we have more printer credits than money in the bank. #mood. We can't understand why our professor wants 3 pages of references. Can he take our word for it? But we're still building the wall, slowly but surely. We're building the world around us, and we're building ourselves. And before we even realize, time has slipped away, and the moment was gone, and we were gone with the moment. Next thing we hear is a voice. "What are you doing?" We say, "We're building a temple." It is our last year at AUP. The bricks that we have laid and the wall that we have constructed have led us to this moment. We can proudly say, we are building a temple that the friends who we met at AUP have designed, a temple for which our teachers and mentors have given us the tools to build, a temple where we can inspire and learn from one another, where we can share knowledge and grow together as a community. AUP taught us how to build with a purpose, sometimes taking a glimpse at a cause larger than ourselves, maybe even larger than our lifetime. If it would have not been for the teachers and mentors and friends who have laid the bricks along the way, we should have not been able to continue building. But we cannot build alone. We need everyone to help us build because our temple is constructed by all of us together, by our community of expats in a foreign city surrounded by an unfamiliar culture. After we leave today, we should never forget that we will always have our temple here at AUP because we carry it in our hearts. But now it is time for us to share the light and knowledge that we have received in AUP with the rest of the world. It is time for us to build a temple in Paris and beyond as citizens of the world. We should never forget that we are on this earth to build. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tommy. The following graduate speaker was elected by her peers. She also is a recent graduate in global communications. I now call on Noah Biran.
It's almost over, so yeah, short and sweet. Dear families, friends, AUP faculty and staff, and of course, class of 2018. I congratulate my fellow students for making it to this exceptional moment. but would like to give a special thanks to our families and loved ones for coming here today and supporting our journey at AUP, making this day possible. I was given the unique opportunity by AUP and the student body to be here on this stage today and tell my story. What I'm about to share is my family's story, but it applies to many of my fellow students in different ways. I was born and raised in Israel to a family of Ashkenazi Jews. All four of my grandparents were born here in Europe, one of them specifically here in France. Their stories range from living in, sorry, I'm very excited today. One more moment. Okay, all four of them experienced the Holocaust in ways many people from my generation cannot even imagine. Their stories range from living in underground hidings, undernourished and not seeing daylight for many years, to being enslaved and used as forced labor for the Nazi regime. Altogether, losing parents, brothers, sisters, nieces to the horrific Nazi war crimes. My Hungarian grandparents, of one side, it's a very emotional story. Last time. They chose to immigrate to Israel. My mother's parents, however, decided to live their lives here in France. Interestingly enough, it was my mother who chose to leave France to come and live in Israel because she never felt she really belonged here. Growing up with this background, you can all imagine how living in my country, especially to Europe, had a higher symbolic meaning for me and my family. My parents, as parents do, had a whole list of reasons to worry about me being so far away, but unfortunately, they needed to add anti-Semitism to their list. And though I'm happy to share that I have not personally encountered anti-Semitic behavior here in Paris, the fear of anti-Semitism is alive and kicking in most Jewish communities outside of Israel. And although highly suppressed, it still exists in me too. So why am I sharing all of this today? It's because I wanted to use this stage today to thank AUP. AUP, the campus, the students, faculty, and staff, is the one place that is completely out of this game. I'm not only talking about anti-Semitism. Each one of us carries his or her own personal story, and all of us can relate to the feeling of being different and treated differently for that reason. But AUP is not the place where it will happen to you. In my program alone, the International Management and Sustainability Program, we're a Jew, a devoted Christian, a Muslim, atheist, of course, arriving from all over the globe, the States, Venezuela, Liberia, Haiti, and from different heritages like Mexican and Iranian. We all studied together, discussing our differences, but mostly our resemblances. In one of our most stimulating classes, Ethics in Business, Professor Robert Earhart would specifically choose case studies that relates to the different geographical locations as well as diverse cultures. Professor Earhart emphasized how ethical norms in business or in life are often deriving from cultural norms, encouraging us to express our cultural perspective. And it's not only a matter of diversity and placing people from all over the world in the same school. It's that je ne sais quoi in the local language, or an X factor, that gives AUP an added value of being a safe and open and an extremely accepting environment. That is so needed in today's world, and for us young students who are the leaders of the future. So thank you, AUP, for giving us the tools to flourish both personally and professionally. And thank you, AUP, for creating a community that I'm proud to be a part of. And now I think we're ready to officially graduate. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. It is now time to close this ceremony, which I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Now I'm going to do things the way they're supposed to be done, and I'm going to ask Emily Hyde. No, Emily Hyde. Okay, anybody? Quinn? Come on, Emily. I call upon Emily Hyde, the newly elected GSC. Hold on, Emily, hold on. You forget the mace. The newly elected GSC president to return the mace to our Marshal, Professor Rosenstein. So we started with the president-elect from the undergraduate, and we finished with the president-elect from the graduate student body. See, makes sense. Now we'd like to ask our faculty marshal, Professor Roy Rosenstein, to lead the recessional, beginning with the platform party, followed by the faculty. The graduates will be exiting the aisle on their left. I ask our guests to remain seated until the end of the recessional, at which time we invite you to join in a reception honoring our graduates. In the lobbies of the theater, there will be some space for the cocktail upstairs and some downstairs, more upstairs, so don't hesitate to go up. As you exit, you please disperse so as not to block egress from the auditorium. We would also like to ask your assistance in maintaining the ambiance of this lovely theater and not to leave glass anywhere, all over the place, nor taking any glass outside on the pavement, on the sidewalk. Finally, a word of thanks to the theater staff. Mesdames et messieurs du Théâtre Mogador, nous voulions profiter de cette occasion pour vous exprimer notre gratitude pour l'accueil que vous nous avez réservé cette année et le grand professionnalisme qui vous caractérise. Un grand merci donc à Monsieur Vincent Bernard et à toute son équipe. Ce fut un vrai plaisir de collaborer avec vous. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.